everyone, and welcome to the Anaheim San Diego Quad Racer Challenge. I'm Larry Huffman, along with Hal Sanguinetti and David Stanfield, here to bring you some of the most exciting racing ever seen on four wheels. First, it's off to the Big A, Anaheim Stadium, for round one of the Quad Racer Challenge, where the new Suzuki 500 quad, we nicknamed it Quadzilla, makes its stadium debut. Then it's down to San Diego's Jack Murphy Stadium for round two. ATVs are the hottest thing to hit the motorcycle industry ever, and the Suzuki Quad Racers have been breaking sales records ever since they were introduced. For more on these four-wheeled rocket ships, let's go to Hal Sanguinetti. Hal?
The fastest growing segment of the motorcycle industry right now is what I'm sitting on, an ATV. Specifically, this is a Suzuki Quad Racer. 5 or 6 years ago, they were only trail vehicles. Small displacement, four-stroke engines, designed as utility and moderate pleasure. Not anymore. Right now, the four-wheelers, and to a lesser extent the three-wheelers, have completely taken over the market in terms of growth and are the biggest part of the racing anymore. Quad racers came into the stadium races here a couple of years ago and have immediately caught the attention of the fans, the sponsors, and the racers alike. A lot of racers who formerly raced motorcycles, maybe they consider themselves too old, whatever reason, they're not racing them anymore. Many of them have taken up the quad racers with considerable success. They're quite different vehicles. They've got four wheels instead of two, but they basically run a motocross-oriented engine, in this case a 250cc Suzuki. Suzuki has been the forerunner in four-wheel racing, looks to be doing very well, not only with the 250s, but the 500 classes as well. You got to watch these guys. It's not the same. It's different. You jump different, you land different. When you bail, it's big time. But the bucks are there, both from the sponsors and from everybody else.
Thanks, Hal Sanguinetti, and we're set here at Anaheim for the main event in the 250cc class. Watch for Don Turk, Sean Finley, and Brian Fry in this race. 70,000 fans lined up, and there they go. And it is Sean Finley in front. Sean Finley on the inside. Number 11 gets a beautiful hole shot and goes out in front. Finley is out of El Cajon, California, and he is going for the goal. Look at this guy go. A collision on the start with one of the favorites, Brian Fry, out of our camera range. And Fry is sidelined, but he's coming back in. Brian Fry out of La Mirada out of the race, at least early at this point. Meanwhile, it is young Sean Finley in front. These are 250cc rocket ships, quad racers, Suzuki quads. In second spot, Don Turk. Now, Turk is an ex-motocrosser. He knows how to ride at night in stadiums. He's had a lot of experience in CMC races. There's Finley in front. These are highly modified machines. Holy Toledo, look at Turk! Turk goes for air. He gets about 15 feet in the air and passes Finley. He was unbelievable. Finley had no idea that Turk was going to go around him, and he went over him. So it is Don Turk, a former motocrosser, now getting to the big bucks quad racing in front, and Sean Finley can only try to reel him in. Don Turk, La Costa, California, Northern San Diego County in front. He went over Sean Finley about 15 feet in the air, and look at him ride that quad. Don Turk still going for the air, and now Finley is forced to play catch-up. They're trying to go over the double jumps. They're getting 7-8 feet in the air. And the crowd is going crazy at this display of wide-open racing by Don Turk. Opening up the lead now, Finley in second. Andrew Buck coming up in third. And Turk opens up the lead on the 6-speed 250 quad. And as we said, $1,500 for the win in this race, and Don Turk has already got that spent. Finley trying to play catch-up. But Turk is absolutely awesome. He is riding that like a virtuoso on a violin. Look at him put that quad right where it's supposed to be. And Finley is forced to fly also over those big jumps. Let's go now to Hal Sanguinetti to find out the difference between production and stock quads. Hal?
We're talking outside the Suzuki Fun Zone here at Jack Murphy Stadium with technical racing coordinator Gus Avansky. For the quad racers, you're in charge of making sure that the bikes are both technically correct to go out on the track and make sure that everything's running smooth. Now, what are the differences between a production bike and the bikes that most of these guys are riding, the Quadracers?
Well, basically, the differences are simple. There's minor modifications to the bodywork. Some of the bodywork has been cut away to make it narrower, and suspension changes in the shocks, front and rear, and the axles are wider to make them more stable out here. And then we have a few minor modifications allowed in the engines. We allow pipes, minor carb changes, and a little bit of cylinder work. And that's basically it.
All right, now, the other part of the question I wanted to ask you, you're teching these guys in. You're checking the bikes for safety before they are allowed to go out on the track. What do you look for?
First, I look to make sure everything is tight. The suspension is tight. All the safety equipment is there, you know, Carter keys in the axles, and to make sure that no one is trying to abuse the rules. And I also check their equipment, their riding apparel, make sure they have proper boots, helmets, and just riding equipment, gloves, and etc.
It's all safety, and it's all a real important thing, isn't it?
Oh, yes, if it's not safe, it can't be fun.
Absolutely. Good point to think about when you go riding your Quadracer out in the desert.
Thank you, Hal Sanguinetti, as racing continues in this 250 main event at Anaheim Stadium, and Don Turk is still in control. There's the difference between first and second. Don Turk, number 24, Sean Finley, the El Cajon rider, number 11 in second spot, and they are heading for the checkered flag. $1,500 going to Turk if he can hold on for just a few more seconds. And Turk is just, whoa, look at that double jump. Don Turk is riding like a motocrosser of 10 years ago, flying over those jumps on a motorcycle, and he's on a quad. Whoa, Don Turk, number 24, going for the gold here at Anaheim Stadium in front of 70,000 fans. Now remember, these are 250cc machines. Suzuki rode the book on them, and there's the white flag. 1 lap to go. Don Turk, number 24, an ex-motocrosser. In fact, still doing some motocrossing, but now getting into the quad racing type of racing and picking up a lot of bucks tonight here from US Suzuki. Slowing down just a little bit now, but Turk is still in control in the final moments of this 250 main event at Anaheim Stadium. I'm Larry Huff on the microphone, and we hope you're enjoying this moto video broadcast. Look at him flat track around those turns and head for the checkered flag. Turk in front. Call him a young Turk. He is a youngster, too. Hasn't been racing that long, but he is good. Here's a checkered flag, ladies and gentlemen, and here comes Turk, and he's got it. Don Turk takes the victory. And Sean Finley relegated to second place, the bridesmaid's role, because of that incredible in-air pass by Turk. So, the 250 main event at Anaheim is history. Don Turk takes the victory, number 24. Second will be Sean Finley. Third, Andrew Buck. And Brian Fry managed to finish 8th after crashing in the beginning. We talked with Don Turk at the San Diego event and asked him about his machine.
Talking with Don Turk here at San Diego Stadium about what the machines have, what they've been modified, and how they run. Don, you've got a 250 here. You also race a 500 this year. What's the difference?
The 250 is a lot lighter. It's a little quicker. The 500 is longer, heavier, and has more grunt power.
Is it a lot harder to ride or just different?
It's just different. It takes a little more different technique. You have to use more throttle control with the open bike. You have to shift a lot more on the 250.
On a 500, you've got to be very careful not to spin out, right?
Correct. It does make a lot of horsepower, and you can't over-rev the bike. And if you use too much power, you're just going to do a circle or do a donut and not go anywhere. You have to get proper tire hookup.
Tires are real important. Are they as important on these or more so than a motorcycle?
Well, it seems like with these four-wheelers, you have a lot more tires to choose from. I switch tires in a race 3 or 4 times depending on track conditions, whereas a two-wheeler you might switch once or maybe not at all.
You say 3 or 4 times a night?
A night, yeah, a night, per bike, too.
Depending upon if the track gets hard, gets wetter, or anything like that?
Yeah, how it grooves up. In the morning, usually the track is damp, and in the afternoon it becomes harder and drier, and you need a different kind of groove pattern and a different kind of compound for that.
So like any professional motorsports, it's a very fine art to get the right combination, isn't it?
Yes, it is. You have to have some good quality people behind you. Quad Dynamics does all the grooving and does all my suspension work for me, and they're a tremendous help.
And of course, you've chosen the Suzuki. Any particular reason?
Suzuki's a really good bike and handles well, and it's probably the best bike going right now.
Well, they started quad racing, and quad racing right now, the biggest, fastest growing segment, both in Supercross and the motorcycle industry.
And the biggest, fastest quads are the 500s, Hal.